What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys like my previous videos. So this is also an interesting hidden logic in today's video. And don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment on them. Today, I'm going to be talking about something that you've heard me talk about many times before. This is one of my favorite topics, the truth about human desires and why we want things that we can't have. Now, this is part 1 of the lesson. So, in part 1, I'll be talking about why we want what we can't have. So, let's start with an example. We all know of someone like this. Someone who has been in a relationship for many years and they're completely unhappy in their relationship. They're miserable. They feel stuck. They feel trapped. But no matter how unhappy they are, no matter how much they might even fantasize about ending it, they will never leave that relationship. Why? Because that person is too comfortable with the discomfort. You see, for someone who's been in an unhappy relationship for many years, breaking up becomes just another chapter in an already familiar story. It's like a well-worn path that they've been walking for so long that it doesn't even feel like a path anymore. It just feels like life itself. On the other hand, imagine if that same person was in a happy, healthy relationship. In that case, breaking up would be like cutting off a piece of their own happiness. That is not something that anyone would ever want to do unless maybe they were really selfish or didn't care about anyone but themselves. You may be thinking, okay, common sense, dude. Of course we don't want to break someone else's happiness. But that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about our own happiness, our own desires. Think about it. What is the thing that you desire the most? What is that thing that you can't stop thinking about? Maybe it's a certain person or a certain material object. Whatever it is, ask yourself this. Would you be willing to trade your current level of happiness for that thing? For example, let's say that you're currently living a pretty good life. You have a decent job, some friends, a roof over your head, food to eat, etc. Would you be willing to trade all of that for that one thing that you can't stop thinking about? If the answer is yes, then I have some news for you. You don't actually want that thing as much as you think you do. Because if you were truly willing to give up everything that you have right now for that one thing, then you would be willing to give up everything that you have right now, plus whatever you get in exchange for that one thing. Because why would you want more than just that one thing when you're already giving up everything to get it? So if the answer is no, then that means that you actually want your current level of happiness more than that thing. And if that's the case, then you don't actually want that thing as much as you think you do. Another way to look at it is to ask yourself this. Would you be willing to give up on the thing that you want the most in order to improve your current level of happiness? If the answer is yes, then you don't actually want that thing as much as you think you do. Because if you're willing to give it up in order to increase your happiness, then why would you be willing to give it up for something that would increase someone else's happiness, right? And again, if the answer is no, then that means that you actually want your current level of happiness more than that thing. And if that's the case, then you don't actually want that thing as much as you think you do. Let me give you another example. Imagine that you at a party and there's a cute girl across the room that you're interested in. You approach her and start talking, and everything seems to be going well. But then suddenly she tells you that she's leaving. Now, what do? Do you let her leave, or do you try to convince her to stay? If you let her leave, then that shows that you actually wanted your current level of happiness more than you wanted to pursue something with her. Because if you were really interested in her, you would have been willing to put in the effort to convince her to stay. But since you weren't, that means that you actually wanted your current level of happiness more than you wanted to pursue something with her.
Now, if you tried to convince her to stay,
then that shows that you wanted to pursue something with her more than you wanted your current level of happiness. Because if you were really focused on pursuing something with her, you would have been willing to sacrifice your current level of happiness in order to do it. But since you weren't, that means that you actually wanted your current level of happiness more than you wanted to pursue something with her. As you can see, this applies to almost any situation. The woman who is in an unhappy relationship is happier being unhappy than she would be if she broke up. The man who is at the party is happier not pursuing the girl than he would be if he did. And this is why we want what we can't have. Because what we can't have represents something that is outside of our comfort zone. It represents something that is unknown and uncertain. And as humans, we naturally gravitate towards what is known and certain, even if it's not the best option for us. So now you're probably wondering, alright, so what should I do? Well, the first step is to become aware of this tendency that we have as humans. Once you become aware of it, then you can start to fight against it. You can start to push yourself out of your comfort zone. You can start to pursue the things that you actually want in life instead of the things that you think you want. And yes, this will be difficult. It will be uncomfortable. But that is the price that we must pay if we want to live a life that we'll be truly happy with. And this is where the second part of the equation comes into play, which is why we don't want what we think we want. You see, when we think we want something, it usually means that we think we'll be happy once we get it. But the truth is, we don't actually know whether or not we'll be happy once we get it. There's always a chance that we'll end up hating it. There's always a chance that it won't be what we expected it to be. And as humans, we naturally avoid things that are uncertain and unknown. We stick to what is comfortable and familiar to us, even if it's not the best option for us. And this is why most people never achieve their dreams.
They never take the leap of faith. They never do the scary thing.
They stick to what is comfortable and familiar to them, even if it's not the best option for them. So how do we overcome this tendency? Well, the first step is to become aware of it. Once we become aware of it, then we can start to question our thoughts. When we start to think, I want this, I want that, we can start to ask ourselves, is this really what I want, or am I just afraid of being unhappy? And if we're just afraid of being unhappy, then we can start to explore the things that would make us happy in the first place. And if we can find those things, then we can start to pursue them instead of the things that we think we want. And this is how we break free from our comfort zones. This is how we pursue the things that we actually want in life instead of the things that we think we want. And yes, this will be difficult. It will be uncomfortable. But that is the price that we must pay if we want to live a life that we truly happy with. So, I hope this video has helped you guys understand why we want what we can't have. And if it has, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. And also go watch the other videos related to life, which is also interesting as it is. Thanks for watching. Bye! But don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on it.